Completed in August of 1940, the Bismarck was a brute of a battleship. The pride of the Kriegsmarine, she was over 823 feet in length and had a standard water displacement of about 41,700 tons empty. Armed with 8 15-inch main guns arranged in 4 twin turrets, the Bismarck could fire monster shells in quick succession and was able to individually challenge almost any ship at sea. To say the Bismarck's entry to the war was concerning to the British would be putting it lightly. The German High Command had intended the Bismarck and the Prince Eugen to enter the Atlantic and challenge Allied shipping coming from the U.S. May 24, 1941, the Denmark Strait. The British had been receiving intel from 2 of their heavy cruisers that the Bismarck and her heavy cruiser Prince Eugen are attempting a breakout into the Atlantic. 2 Royal battleships were placed hot on her trail. A World War I-era battleship, the HMS Hood, was still a formidable warship. She would be accompanied by the HMS Prince of Wales, a newer battleship of the Royal Navy. Sometime before dawn in the frigid waters of the Denmark Strait, the HMS Hood would continue steaming on a collision course that would ultimately doom the ship and her crew. At 5:52 a.m., after spotting and locating what they thought to be the Bismarck, Hood would open fire using her broadsides. Unbeknownst to the Hood, they had actually focused in on the Prince Eugen. The Germans responded almost immediately, with the Prince Eugen firing first, and then the Bismarck following. Using missed shots and water volley splashes, Prince Eugen would send a more focused shot hitting the HMS Hood and causing a fire near the aircraft hangar. Next, the British would find their stroke, with the Prince of Wales hitting the Bismarck, causing some minor flooding. The Bismarck, with the Hood sighted in, would fire 5 steep-angled shots. With the first 4 missing shy, the last shell would hit direct. Believed to be an explosion from her main magazine, the HMS Hood would erupt into an 800-foot fireball into the air. Almost instantly, her decks began to pull apart. With the Hood sinking below the waves, the Prince of Wales would continue to duke it out with both the Prince Eugen and the Bismarck. Both sides would land hits. But recognizing the low chances of victory and now clearly outnumbered, the Prince of Wales would lay smoke and limp away. The Bismarck herself was not without damage, though. She was leaking oil, her speeds had dropped. The German ships would not chase. They had minor damage and knew the Royal Fleet would not sit idle after sinking of the Hood. The Bismarck would decide on sailing towards a port in France under the Nazi control in order to make repairs. What would seem as inconsequential damage would end up putting the Bismarck on a crutch in her next and most important engagement. The casualties of this fate meeting were awful. 1,415 men, including the captain, died on the HMS Hood. Most men never even made it to the deck. The Bismarck would not lose a single sailor during this engagement. However, the Royal Navy's revenge was just around the corner. If you enjoy what we do, please like and subscribe.